the army will have to think twice.
Right. One of the things I noticed in Pakistan, I interviewed a few presidents. You go there and all the previous presidents' photographs have been taken down. Only his photograph is there. And he's filed a case against the previous president. Who filed the case against the previous president? This guy stepped down, there'll be a case against him. And they kept telling me what we admire about India is you have so many heroes. And you respect your leaders of the past. They have no heroes. Nobody. Except Jinnah. And, you know, one or two earlier
speaking against him. Some
speaking against him. But India has that. Are we, you've also kind of, you've solved that problem in Punjab. There's no more great animosity with the opposition now. That's a major
step. We never had animosity, but you know, you must remember that people have been through difficult times. Now I'm talking about my state.
Yes.
And the people here. And the government has behaved in a very shoddy manner. In fact, people who they didn't get on with, they just picked them up and put them behind bars and charged them with all sorts of things. So there's when the government's change, that anger is there. Gradually we are handling it. We put up commissions to look into all these false cases and all this sort of thing. And I think by and large now the time has passed and things have stabilized from that angle.
It has, yes.
It has, but because the commission, which is working quite effectively, a lot of the cases that they've said are false have been removed, and that is the atmosphere which is required.
Yes.
If we are going to fight with each other and this is going to carry on, you see, continuity is what industry wants.
Yes.
If today you put up a plant here, you don't know the next government comes and starts messing around.
Yes, exactly.
So we want that sort of stability, and I think that realization will come in
coming here.
It certainly, our people believe it.
Otherwise, the tendency is that whichever government comes in any state or center, all cases are only against the opposition. Against their own party, everybody's clean. So that seems to be, I mean, one thinks of probably the second greatest leader globally in the last 200 years after Mahatma Gandhi. I still believe Mahatma Gandhi was the greatest global leader in 200 years and is recognized across the world. The second greatest probably Mandela. 27 years in jail, he comes out and forgives. And he says truth and reconciliation.
Yeah, absolutely.
We need that, right?
Absolutely need that. I think we are doing that.
I think you're doing
that.
We
are allowing that in Punjab. We are not messing around unless there's something very major, then let the law take its course.
Yeah.
But, you know that, as I said, it's a bit difficult to keep one's colleagues in check in this thing because they have been through this.
We've been through that.
But I'm happy to say that by and large everyone is accepting this and letting things get on. And I hope that this will be a indication to the whichever government comes next.
Yes, should be. It should be a mature democracy, sign of a mature democracy. Yeah. One other thing which worries investors is drugs and then cancer. But first, let's talk about drugs. Everybody says, I hate to say it. I said, don't trust the media. We did a series called Smashed at Sunset. That wasn't really drugs, that was booze. But then we found it's not just in Punjab, it's all over India. India is smashed at sunset. Booze is very, of course, Punjab, they do it more colorfully.
Well, we are left with only excise duty. And the other day we were talking about this excise duty business and how to get the revenue up. Now, how do you get revenue up in an excise duty? Is to drink more. I am not asking people, encouraging people to do this, but you know, the fact is that I'm saying it in light-hearted manner, but the fact is that yes, we drink, but I'm not worried about that. That has been continuously.
But Patiala Peg must get you a lot of excise duty.
Now, this much. No, it's the drug that is worrying me.
You look at that and say, wow, excise duty. When you see a peg that size, you think...
I am worried more about drugs. And drugs is something that we have come down. We've set up a special task force. We've got them working hard. And you would be surprised, but we've arrested nearly 32,000 people.
Wow.
Of course, they are not all in the jug. They've been through investigation. People have been let off. We've got about 3,800 which have been convicted. And the rest of you are under trial, about 4,000 more under trial.
Well, it's quite a big cleanup.
It is, because what do you do? Now, I have a problem that I have drugs used to come across the border. Then people used to, bring them in. Now it's coming in from Kashmir. Look at the amount of security forces there. And we caught a 300 kilo consignment coming from Uri.
My God.
Then it comes from Nepal. It comes from Delhi. Delhi is much worse than us. And then it comes from Kandla. Nearly 1 ton of this thing came to Kandla, and from that I think a couple of 100 kilos were shipped to Punjab. So we seem to become the destination because people feel we have money, so send drugs in. So we've been very tough on this. Now we have just extradited a man from Armenia who went from one of our guys who went there, also in the drug business. Now from here we are working upwards, and hopefully we'll get to the top. But there is so much money in drugs, and that is something that we'll have to keep on our toes all the time. It's not going to disappear, but it's certainly going to become manageable. It was completely out of control earlier. I have seen videos posted on the social media of little girls, maybe 10 or 15 or 14, 3 of them sitting on a manji in a village and sniffing the stuff. Now, this is the sort of stuff that was happening. Now, this is before our government came. And this is what we had made a commitment to, that when we came, we would clamp down on this. And we've done it. And our force is working very well. And by God's grace, we'll have it under check.
Total determination.
Yeah, we've broken the backbone of it. Now, the question is to push it down as much as we can.
And not to lose focus, because other countries have faced this and eliminated it.
I mean, look at America.
Yeah.
They've been fighting with Colombia for so long, and now they're still the same way, and now they're shipping it by submarines. These smugglers have got submarines, and they brought in, the U.S. Coast Guard just hauled up one submarine which was carrying cocaine from Colombia or wherever.
But
so
you're focused on...
Yeah, drugs is a must. Sometimes excesses take place, but very few. We're careful on that score.
So by the next elections, you say it'd be relatively drug-free, Punjab?
No, I don't think the world can ever be drug-free, but I think it will certainly be well under control.
Under control. That's a big thing to say. The other worry that people have, I'm sorry, I'm just bringing the worries because I think everybody needs to bring them out.
Absolutely.
Is cancer. There used to be the well-known cancer train to Jaipur, I think, and everybody said the pesticides and fertilizers was causing cancer in Punjab. What are you doing about that?
Well, we had that train going to Bikaner because we didn't have cancer treatment here. Now cancer treatment has come up. We've got the Tatas coming up near Sangrur.
Right.
We've got one coming up here in Chandigarh. And elsewhere also we are trying to bring in these treatment areas for cancer. But statistic-wise, we did have 2 teams. In fact, in my last government, the first team of the PGI we sent out under Dr. Talwar to have a look around and find out what is the reason cause for this. They found nothing. Then I think in the last government's time, they sent the Tata people around to find out. They couldn't find anything.
They were trying to find what is the direct
what the
linkage.
cause, because this was linked to South Punjab. South Punjab. They thought perhaps it was excessive use of fertilizer over a period of time and something is built up and some chemical reaction is taking place or something. But no, they couldn't. So, in fact, now that we've got statistics coming in, Punjab is lower than other states. We are not above other states. We are in some states lower than other states of cancer, so it seems to be a national problem.
It's a national problem. And so it was just, the focus was Punjab, but actually the incidence is
because we didn't
lower
have
than other states.
We didn't have any treatment, so because of this daily train to Bikaner, everybody, we came in the focus.
Yeah. Again, it was the media. Never trust the media.
You chaplain, never
trust the media. I guess this is a little bit of worry also for investors, but air pollution and burning of stubble. When I did my PhD, it was in agricultural economics, and I traveled around Punjab a lot because you were the first to use combine harvesters. And I used to sit on the combine harvesters, and they used to run.
Sorry to interrupt, ma'am. I'm from Mandeep, मैं इंसाफ के लिए यहाँ पे आया हूँ सर।
Oh, Praji?
ये मेरे कोर्ट के कागज है सर। ये मेरे पर पुलिस ना धक्का कर रही है, जबरदस्ती हमारी दुकान पे कब्जा करवा लिया। ये मेरे लीज ऑर्डर हैं, ये सब कुछ कागज ओके होने।
कोई बात नहीं,
प्लीज सर, एक सेकंड।
रहने दो, कोई बात नहीं, दो।
राजा साहब तक पहुँचाने आया हूँ। मैंने आज तक सुना कि राजा साहब ने इंसाफ किया है। मैं चाहता हूँ कि मेरे साथ भी इंसाफ हो।
20 minutes over, so 10 minutes है।
सर नहीं, मेरी बात सुनिए। अगर मैं कागजों में गलत हूं तो
नहीं, छोड़ दो उसको, आप देख लो जरा।
मैंने ना सब
आ जाओ बेटा।
Start? Should we start?
Yeah, please.
Is it okay to start? Is it okay to start? Okay. Eight minutes, okay. Ready? Well, I want to say something. You certainly have democracy in Punjab, and the way you handled that was great, right? Talking about air pollution and burning of crops, and I said I was going with combine harvest. You know, in those days, combine harvesters were John Deere, imported. Nobody knew how to fix them.
630 and 330.
Yes.
Remember them?
Yes. And Sardars would not switch it off. They would go inside while it's working and try and fix it, because if you switch it off, you never know it will start again. It was fantastic. So these combine harvesters are leaving stubble and they're burning it. What's happened? The pollution is everywhere.
See, pollution, now as far as stubble burning, it's always been there. But unfortunately, the area has gone up now.
Yes.
And this is contributing. Then, of course, vehicular traffic, then industry has contributed, power generation has contributed, everything has contributed. Yes. So it's becoming what it has become over the last couple of years. Now, we are trying to get onto that. I know there are 4 plants in Punjab which are now using it for power generation. There is the
using stubble
industry. Yes, they are already using stubble for this. And I hope more will come up. And apart from that, ethanol is there, which can be brought out from this. There have been trials by IIT Roper, but they have not been successful on that score. So I hope they will break through eventually. But certainly for power generation, yes.
But can we have a commitment that by next year we won't have stubble being burnt? That you'll buy it off the farmers. They'll only stop if they make money.
Exactly. And this is what I've told the Prime Minister. I wrote him a letter. I said, unless you give 100 rupees a quintal more. See, you must remember first, what are my farms? 70% of my farmers are under 5 acres of land. And out of that, half of them are under 2 acres of land. Now, every operation that they do on the ground, it's about 1,200 rupees. Now, how can a farmer who can barely feed his family, I have paid nearly 4,700 crores in debt servicing this year, trying to help them out from all of the wine debt. And unless you give them something, they are not going to do it. When they can't feed their families, how are they going to do 2 extra operations?
Can we pay the farmers and get the stubble off?
No, then let's see. Then it went to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court says Punjab should pay them. If I had the money to pay them, I have to pay them in any case. And now we are forced by the Supreme Court order to pay them, and we don't have the money. And we are asking the government of India, you please give 100 rupees a quintal more in the MSP so that this can be used. Look after it.
I think all of us would love to see this problem solved. And as you say, if this is a method, get some, and maybe you can share it with the center.
No, I don't know what the center has now. It's still on. It's still on. I think the case is still on. So let's see what happens in that. And we've also already taken it up. When I see the PM next, I'll also mention this again to him.
You can't imagine how important it is. Children are coughing, dying.
I know.
And we just need
not
to
only
pay the
here
farmers,
too.
And they'll benefit, and everybody will benefit.
The other day I was coming from Firozpur to here, and we are flying at about 500 feet. I couldn't see the ground. Even Punjab, it's not only Delhi, it's not only Haryana, absolutely. It's Punjab itself.
And the amount in hospital costs all adds up in the end. But you're getting a huge amount of money in GST. Sorry, that was a trick question.
I wish I was getting it. My finance minister is smiling or not smiling?
He's crying.
He was yesterday. He and 6 other finance ministers met the national financial minister, and they've been promised. We haven't had this GST. Look, we have handed over everything which produces revenue for the state to the government of India under this GST Act. Now, their commitment to us was that every first week of the month, this money would come to us. Wasn't that so, Manpreet? And we have not had it since August.
You've not been paid since August, your GST?
Yes. Now they say February.
So that's over 4,000 crores you're not being paid?
How much is it?
6,000 now.
Crores.
My God, you have not got 6,000 crores?
No.
And it's due to you since 1st of August?
Sorry?
It's due to you since August.
We are due since August.
You don't got the cash.
No.
How will you function? I mean, it's a lot of money.
The finance minister's there and the finance secretary is
looking a
there.
bit
Ask them
depressed.
both. It's not fair. It's not only us. I think all states.
Yes, yeah,
All
it's also
states are suffering.
you're
And
paying it to the center, they're just not returning your share.
We are not getting our share, what is supposed to be, and we've handed over all our rights to them. So now what do I have? I have liquor, excise duty, let's put it. I have sand mining. I have stamp duty and a couple of other little things which give us a little here and there, and we are borrowing to exist. How much can we borrow? But we are borrowing to exist.
That's a very, very serious issue. Finally, I'll just talk about one more thing, and that is we have millions and million tons of rice and wheat stocked away. Some are being eaten by mice. But we are growing more and more and more of that. Shouldn't we change the cropping pattern?
That is precisely why we want to change the outlook to Punjab's economy. And that is why we are having this in West Punjab today. It is, other states, I'll just elaborate a bit.
Yes, please.
Other states have now developed their water systems. You've got the Kaveri basin, you've got the Narmada basin, you've got the Ganga Jamuna basin, all of them, and they're all growing paddy. Now I have, as of today, last year's rice, last year's wheat, and this year's wheat. I have my stocks of my godowns are full. The FCI is not lifting them, and I have this year's crop which has come in, which is about 13 million tons. We are storing wherever we find space. Under tin sheds.
Last year's wheat, there's so much excess wheat and rice.
And when that wheat doesn't last, rice can last a little while, but that wheat, if it gets spoiled after a year or two, then we are to blame. Now that is why I've got 31,000 crores owed to me by the government of India. 31,000 crores over a period of the last so many years, where all this wheat spoilage taken place, where they've charged us for lifting their bags into godowns for them, and we are charged for that. And these sort of things.
If they don't lift it and there's a deterioration or
I am to pay for it.
They don't pay for that.
No, they are paying to maintain the MSP, they are buying all the wheat and all, we are buying on their behalf. And we store it for them. But any spoilage and storage is to our cost. And that's added up to 31,000 crores, which we are now talking to them about.
31,000 crores. So one way to look at it for investors, there's 31,000 crores to come and another 6,000 for GST. So bonanza coming. But when it will come, we don't know. But just last thing on this cropping pattern, you need to pay more for other crops so people switch to pulses or vegetables.
This is it. Now you see, instead of encouraging paddy, if they would give us an MSP for maize, they've given an MSP for maize, but they don't maintain it. There's a cotton MSP, they don't maintain it. The Cotton Corporation is supposed to come in and start buying when the price falls below whatever the MSP is, but they don't do it. And maize doesn't have an MSP which they maintain. They're not supposed to do that. If they give it to me for rice, now we have millions of tons of pulses. If there are millions of tons of pulses are being imported, oilseeds are being imported, then we can get the farmer to change. When he sees money in it, as I said in the beginning, when he sees money in it, he will change.
Exactly.
If he could change from nothing to rice, why can't he change into dals of various things, moong dal or whichever dals which we grow, provided we have an MSP and he knows he's getting money for it.
Well, sir, I think we all must congratulate you on you being you really know what's happening in your state. You're really hands-on. And you're still owed 37. You regret being finance minister? Okay, if you had to say to the center, you owe me nearly 40,000 crores in Punjabi and give it back, what would you say to them?
I won't say what I said earlier.
Okay, a very mild version would be?
Sorry?
A very mild version would be?
No, I'll tell you that they do listen. They do listen, but they are having the same problem as us.
Because you must be saying it in...
Sorry?
You must be saying it in Punjabi.
I mean, they are borrowing from the national reserves. Where are they going to... so they have to ginger up their own system first.
So one statement to them in Punjabi, please give us some money. Or else.
देखो, ਅਸੀਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਹਾਂ, ਅਸੀਂ ਹੱਥ ਨਹੀਂ ਜੋੜਦੇ, ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਹੱਕ ਮੰਗਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਬਸ that's all.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, your applause says it all. Thank you, Captain Amarinder Singh Ji and Dr. Pranoy Roy, for that engaging conversation. May I now request you to please be seated in the audience.
इस साल पंजाब सरकार जो सबमिट करन जा रही है ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ 5 और 6 ਦਸੰਬਰ ਨੂੰ ਮੋਹਾਲੀ ਵਿਖੇ ISB ਦੇ ਕੈਂਪਸ 'ਚ ਆਯੋਜਿਤ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਡਾ ਮੁੱਖ ਥੀਮ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਦੇ MSME